Today on the show, we have the man who gave us Scribes of Life, the first Philly rapper ever signed to Motown. He collaborated with artists such as Canibus, Flowetry, M.O.P, Mr. Cheeks, The Corporation, Major Figures, Phil Easy, Army of the Pharaohs, She the Jeweler, and many more. The man who gave us, in our opinion, one of the best Philly mixtapes of all time, Formula 16. I'll drop a link in the description if anybody wants to check it out, especially you, Jern. He's given us some of the most inventive and original punchlines the world has ever heard. He's one of our favorite artists in the city and an MC we have the utmost respect for. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm round of applause for journalists.
Dan, that's love. I got to save that intro for something, bro. That was love. I appreciate the flowers, man.
It's already ready, but you knew that. Mr. Boom Bap, like shares, page views by the thousands. Joseph E. Bags, he's bringing back nostalgia.
I want to start from the beginning, if you don't mind. So let's talk about how do you sign with Jay Erving and Universal, and then what was your decision-making process to make the move to Motown so young and so quickly right after that?
And pardon the eye contact too, fella. But yeah, so I met Jay Erv through, and it's funny you say Newman, a friend of mine, Marley Manson, right? He went to Newman. And that's how I met Marley through my man Vinny. They used to hoop at Newman together. You know, we used to all play in a pub. So I met Marley through the neighborhood playing ball or whatever. And it's crazy because one day before I met my manager, it's a guy from around the way, he used to cut hair, still do actually, named Sign the Barber. He had a splash party right there on 17th and Christian at the YMCA over there.
Okay.
Everybody was there. Most Wanted, Major Figures, Beans, any rapper in Philly was there at the splash party. So, you know, those who knew that I rapped, because remember, at this time, I'm only 2-3 years in writing, right? So it's like 97, 98. Yeah. So I wasn't really too confident in my music with everybody's, but my friend who passed away, my man Putt, he pushed me to get on stage. He's like, yo, get the mic. So when I got it, I rapped, and that, you know, a lot of people didn't know, they knew me for basketball or whatever. So long story short, I didn't feel I did the best performance. So when I left, I said, I think I'm going to hang it up. 2.5 years in, I think I'm going to hang rap up. Literally, that next morning, I saw Marley Manson. I'm driving up 15th and Dickinson. Usually, I'll turn and go up Morris. Something told me just to go up 15th Street. And when I go up Dickinson Street, I saw Marley. And he was like, yo, Jern, he said, you know, I'm about to meet with Dr. J's son. He's like, you should come with me tonight. And I'm like, all right, man, just hit me up. I might go. And he called me, and that's how that happened. And I went and met Jay Erv down on 4th and South. I forgot what bar used to be right there. And I rapped for him. He was impressed. And, you know, it was just a constant, like, just rap off. I met Charles Suit from Universal, who was signed Canibus, Lost Boys, and all of them. And then I rapped for him, and he was like, yo, man, I got to link you with Canibus. That's how that happened. You know, me running with Canibus and us tearing down the mixtape scene, creating my buzz to where Universal, Dar Massenberg was, you know, CEO at the time, Motown Universal, and he gave me my shot.
Yeah. That's awesome. And so you and Canibus were technically label mates. That's how your relationship with him started.
Absolutely. Yeah. First they gave me a single deal. And shout out to Chaos. Chaos did the production for that. And the single deal was getting a little traction. It was a joint we did called Dialogue. It was getting some traction. Then actually that Dialogue, you know, was on an album or whatever. And then we, you know, Qatar came in. He was like, yo, Jern, I'm going to give you an album deal. So it was like love. You know what I mean?
So
man.
You're on Universal. You're with Dr. J's son. You're doing records with Canibus. What makes you switch to Motown?
Oh, well, actually, Motown and Universal had merged. Technically, it was like assigned to the Motown and Universal because they had merged. So Kadar Massenberg was CEO of Motown, who was, you know, the Universal was the parent company. Yeah.
I got you. Okay. So there was no like beef or bad blood and you switched. They were really technically part of the same umbrella.
Yeah. And it's crazy, y'all,
because
because Motown, you know what I mean, at the time, Motown was the dominant R&B. You know, everybody know the history of Motown, but they predominantly had, even at that time, they had the neo soul movement was heavy. So they were so focused on that. Like Erykah Badu was the main if I'm not mistaken, she was like the biggest artist at the time on Motown. You know what I mean? So a lot of people was saying like, yo, that's not really a label for hip hop and rap. But y'all disagree. We had AZ there at the time too. You know what I'm saying? AZ had just re-signed with Kadar.
AZ was on Motown at the time?
Yup. We was actually labeled.
Damn. He did Do or Die on Motown?
Huh? I hear you.
He did Do or Die on Motown?
No, not Do or Die. He did, I forgot the name of the album AZ had. The album was crazy though, because his producers, Urban Wolves, guys he was working with at the time, did a lot of the tracks on Scribes of Life. And what Kadar wanted to do was, a lot of people was doing like squads. You had like, State Property. You had different squads. So Kadar wanted to put together a squad called the Black Soprano Family, BSF. Before Benny and them, I think Benny and them go by BSF now. Or something, you know what I mean? I know.
Well, they took it a lot later than you guys were talking about it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It was coincidence because AZ and our joint really never jumped off. You know what I'm saying? It was supposed to be me, AZ, and this young boy, Trav. We was all young back then. But Trav, he's from Brooklyn. So I think it was AZ young boy, if I'm mistaken. Trav was nice, though. But yeah, Kadar wanted us three to get together and, run the gang.
Yeah, I was always curious when you recorded that Scribes at Motown, how much control did they give you? Were they involved a lot? Because two of my favorite songs of all time are Self-Explanatory and Back of the Lack.
Yes.
So I was always curious just how much control they gave you.
I'm telling you, it's crazy.
Back of the Lack and Self-Explanatory.
Back of the Lack. Backbone is nice, right? Backbone, nice, man. Sleepy Brown was on there too.
Shit, man. My son, my 16-year-old son.
Yeah, that's love.
He's starting to learn now. He's starting to learn about you now.
Yeah, I gotta bring that. I might gotta bring that back out. They gave Kadar, man. Kadar is thorough, bro. Salute to Kadar. I mean, he gave me not too much control, and when I say he didn't give me too much control, I remember Kadar telling me like, "Yo, Jaren, I'm new to all this. Like, stuff is happening so fast." He was like, "Yo, journalist, listen." He said, "I'm signing you, but you gotta have this album turned in a month. No lie." You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, and he told me, he said, if you don't have this album done in a month, if I'm not mistaken, it was every week or every day something past the due date, it would be like 10,000 or something. He told, added to the budget. So I'm like, yo, we got to get this joint done.
The bill collector was coming.
You feel me? So as far as control, it wasn't really. I looked at that like that was like putting handcuffs on me a little bit. But then later on, I learned they can give you a time frame, but as long as you putting in heat and bringing in heat, they not tripping. You know what I'm saying? So I could have took my time more with it. That's the only thing though.
Yeah.
So speaking of producers and production, I can't tell if Primo did the M.O.P record, Southville and Brownsville, but I know that Jazzy Jeff at least did one or two records on Scribes of Life, didn't he?
Well, Primo and Jeff, they played production parts on it, but it was like co-production. Like Primo helped, Fame, Little Fame did the M.O.P record. And Preem did some, I think, scratches or some, whatever Preem did to bring it to the next level. Preem did that on there. So I remember the second session when we went to D&D, Preem was in there. First time we did it, I think we went to another studio. It might have been in Brownsville, if I'm mistaken. And that's when me, Fame, and Dance was in there. We recorded it. Then it's the mix down. And when we put the Make Yourself Be Heard, when we did the second part, was in D&D studio. Yeah. Jeff, shout out to Jeff.
You got to go to D&D? That's awesome.
That's history, bro. Listen, man.
My God. You were in D&D Studios?
D&D Studios,
Extended Family is the name of the record.
Exactly. Yes, sir. Yup. That's history because, D&D ain't open no more,
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yup.
And Jazzy Jeff, did you get to meet Jeff? Did you work with him or did he do it kind of after the fact or in a different location?
Well, Jeff, I was sitting with Jeff a few times because I used to go down there and mess with a lot of the producers, and Carv had Jeff was down there. He had a touch of jazz. So when Flowetry, I would go down there and bust it up with Flowetry, and so I would see Jeff on occasions. He Dre and Vidal and all them guys, but Jeff didn't actually produce anything. I think he did some co-producing after the production for The Way It Used to Be was done.
The records were turned down.
Yeah, so I don't think that he actually did any production on it, but it's crazy because I know a little while later I saw Jeff, I think it was AC. We went to AC for a show. I went with I forgot my man's name. Y'all homie actually. I forgot his name, man. His brother, he threw an event that Jeff was DJing, and we went down there and busted up with Jeff and Mad Skills. But no, I used to see Jeff all the time on occasions, y'all. You know, that's a legend, man. You know, that's the legend, man.
So
yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
Jazzy Jeff is a legend.
Yes,
So-
sir.
I did a high school project with him. He let me interview him too.
Yeah, good dude. Any good dude?
What was that
man?
like? How was that?
I did a high school project with him. I went all the way down to the studio, knocked on the door. He's like, "Yeah, come on in."
Yeah, he thorough like that.
No
too,
way.
bro. Yeah, Jeff is thorough like that.
That's
man.
nuts, man.
Yeah.
He was cool. Act.
So it makes sense that you would want to build on the success of Scribes of Life, and so you know, being in Philly, being in hip hop, you drop a mixtape, right? So Formula 16, I guess most of it was produced by Rebel, if not all of it, but I know Q-Deezy hosted it. So you guys connected through General, a street banker, right?
Yeah, General.
General.
Yes, sir. My man General. Yeah, forgot about
General, the
General.
street banker. He's a classic. So what was
We
I
were
always
talking-
wanted to know, you probably don't remember the bars, but I always wanted to know who you're talking about on the Wake Up. Is it,
Definitely don't remember.
if you're
the
allowed to
bars.
say, is it Dr. J?
Might
When you said we were joined at the femur, now I got to slide off like it's ointment between us. My mistake was letting the wrong kid dictate. I'm not mad at you. I'm going to shop around like Saks Fifth Avenue. I felt like when you ended Scribes of Life, I felt like you were talking about Dr. J's son, but I'm not really sure.
I don't remember the bars, bro. I remember now that you reciting it, I remember the bars. I'm
I'm
gonna
not
have to
mad
listen
at you.
again. But
I'm not mad at you.
yeah, I remember the joint at the femur bar. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. And that's what I'm saying.
So
like,
what was it like? It's been a long time, cuz it's been 25 plus years. So you had Q-Deezy hosting, you had Cosmic Kev shouting you out on intros. You had a record with General and R. Kelly, dog.
that was big. That was huge.
Two
Shout out to
Malaysian chicks in
General.
the tub, cuz. You remember, that's how you
That was a
started
banger.
off. Two Malaysian chicks in the tub, cuz.
Like, you were just talking about, a project that's your baby and that you're really working on the album like that. And to me, even just earlier when you're talking about how a lot of them were just freestyles on Formula 16 that
Right.
they're so classic. And like, even the fact that you might not remember, like, so me and Massey talk about it all the time of just different bars, right? And stuff that you'll get to go back and listen now once you slide over on the album, right? But like, so you had a verse, right? So you start the verse off, my gotta leave your six pack dripping like dish racks. Do you remember what goes after that?
I don't remember what goes after that. I remember that line though. That's
All
crazy.
right,
Come on.
All right, so,
it's crazy.
so
My
you
fault.
ready? All right, ready?
Okay,
No,
go
listen.
over.
All right, ready? So, I gotta leave your six pack dripping like dish racks. Got the twin eagles and your guns mismatch. They hear on the dispatch, all they found was a piece of Kit Kat and a Knicks cap. Push your shit back. Beat the 6-track. Hove and Kelly, green light to put a hole in your belly. I don't feel like joking with Selly, so I'm gonna switch my gear, lay in the cut like petroleum jelly. Touch his pulse, let him know if he breathing, so the gunner keep clapping like a poetry reading. I might clap him again with the silence. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that whole
Come
joint
on,
now.
cuz you don't remember none of that?
All right.
Nah,
how about,
bro.
all right,
Unfortunately,
how about this one? So, hey, Jern, so you're talking about a girl you met like at the mall or something, right? And you said, anyway, get to her car. She had a Mirage. She said it's temporary. I'm about to get me a sob. Whatever. I'm in the other garage. And I think on that same.
I remember this bar here though, right? Off of the joint that I did to Eve's record. The leave it. She asked me something. So I like a bar of soap. I'm gonna leave it 2000.
I'm gonna leave it 2000.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
I do remember that. You know what I'm saying? But that's crazy because that's
What
one
was
of the
the one
only
verse
bars
too?
I
I
remember
keep
for that
forgetting.
whole joint, bro. My fault. What's that?
The one verse over the Missy Elliott.
Yeah. So on the Missy Elliott,
yeah.
right? You said, journalist is back on his grind. It's just I was fucked up about what happened to Khan. Still I work with it in the back of my mind, and that's why I'm one of the hottest rappers you find. You know the gat'll make you bend at the spine, leave you in the hospital leaning up like 10 after 9. popping Tylenol about 10 at a time. That's when I drive past your block and grin at your mom. I ain't worried about ducking the law. So in the middle of daylight, I'm going to let him watch a couple of stars. I might even cut at the car for the hell of it. See if he can stand the rain like Missy Elliott. One in his gut. Watch how red his belly get. Leave him in the ocean
floating with the jellyfish.
That's all. I remember that.
And then to be honest with you, when Massey...
The second verse is better, though.
Yes. Did the boy mention play with birds like Troy Vincent? You was painting walls at 7th and Moy mentioned. I mentioned Toy Henchman. Yes.
Right.
So we,
okay.
You know, like it's just...
Hey, that's love, man.
It's crazy to me, right? It's crazy to me that you haven't listened to that album in all these years. And for us, it's still, you know, however 18, 20 years, it's still in a weekly rotation for us, and we're still listening to that. To something that, you know, some of it you just freestyled and put it together is amazing to me. You know,
oh man, no, it's amazing that y'all still rock that, and I salute that, bro. I appreciate that, man. Yeah. But yeah, so it's like even then, literally after recording it, I probably forgot the bars, bro. Just to be honest with you, man. Like, because it was something. Now, before then, the only rhymes that I ever wrote, the last record, before then, of the joints that we're talking about, the last rhymes that I ever wrote was Scribes of Life. So it's just like after that, just to be honest, I could share with y'all, like, you know what I mean? Well, I'm sharing to the world now, but I really didn't want to like rap. You know what I'm saying? After that, I went through that with the project. You know what I mean? At least write raps. Yeah. I was, you know, for a while. And that's probably why I just started smoking heavy, was going to strip clubs heavy, you know what I mean? And just like trying to forget that part of the business of it, you know what I'm saying? Because even to this day, I love the game. You know what I'm saying? I love the music. It's just the business part of it can give a sour taste. And I'm sure a lot of Philly artists that, you know, at that time, you know what I mean, that went through, you know, from Most Wanted Mill, they could probably, any of the artists that was in the city that was on major labels and who released projects that really didn't get the just due, would probably relate to the sour taste that the gang left, you know what I mean? But then just to be honest, about us
happened to all of them, dog.
To everybody, you feel what I'm saying? But then just to be honest, fellas, us working, it brought that back, you feel what I'm saying? But I had to start challenging myself, and that's what caused me to start doing without the pen and freestyling the rhymes, you know what I'm saying? So it was like a gift and, you know, a good and a bad thing, because writing rhymes back then, I could write the rap and remember it, because that's how I was doing all the freestyles with Canibus. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know that we were going to do a mixtape run that whole week. We was working on his album. You know, he told me, he said, Jern, we're going to go to this radio, this radio, this radio. And me, I just wanted to make an impression to the DJs, the Canibus, to everybody. So I was just writing those raps fresh, memorizing them that morning, and then going to the radio to spit them. You know what I'm saying? It was a different hunger too. You know what I mean?
So you went on a run. You went on a mixtape run after Formula 16. You did
Corporation,
yup.
With Ace Leon and the rest of those
We did that at Rebs too. Didn't we do that with Rebs, if I'm mistaken, right? Some of that.
Yeah, we did.
You had to have, because we all have a copy of it. That's not something that's publicly out there like that. You know what I mean? So I feel like you did that at Red Place too. And then I have something called Stitch Productions. It's a whole mixtape called Stitch Productions.
Wow,
I don't know where that's from.
I remember we was down.
Well, you know what? The Corporation was also out in Record Bar too.
Yup.
Record Bar and Sounds of Upper Darby, but probably.
Yeah, remember Record Bar? Right.
Because you put it there.
16, let's do.
Record Bar. You remember Record Bar?
Yeah, right on Passyunk, right?
On Passyunk,
yeah.
Yeah.
Across from Mancuso's, the cheese joint.
Yeah.
I used to love that place.
I have Stitch Productions. I have Preseason, Offseason, Volume 1 and 2, Postseason, While Supplies Last. How'd you hook up with Violator for While Supplies Last?
With While Supplies Last, that was my man Low. My man Low had he had linked with DJ Super, and DJ Super had plugged that in. Yep. Shout out to DJ Super.
DJ Super is the DJ who did that mixtape. I remember.
For Violator, Violators. My man Low, who produced I'm not sure if y'all heard Postseason, but Low produced that whole joint. I think my man Yacht and Track Nick did a few of those too. But Low, excuse me,
Yeah.
Lil Conner produced that whole
remember Yant.
project. Yeah, you remember Yant, right, Red?
I got preseason, postseason,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
off-season. Yeah,
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
got
these
all
names
three
are
of
bringing
them.
back memories.
Yup. Now it's crazy, right?
So
I had
It really is,
postseason
man.
before
You know,
before
you know what I was just
Cole.
thinking of, John?
What'd you say, Red?
Remember that? Do you remember that time we were redoing that bit? It was for the Formula 16. It was that. What was that girl's name? That piano song. That din 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 din. And I need.
Yo,
Do you remember trying to loop that out?
Yo, we was trying to do
we
that for
spent-
like 2 hours, man. It was
I
like
was gonna
2
say it
hours.
was like 2-3 hours. We just looped our whole.
Yo, that's crazy. I remember that. What was her name?
Every time I hear
yeah.
that song, I think of that every time I hear it. I was like, I wonder if John thinks of this song when he hears that.
The same. I do, bro.
Or when
Actually,
you
I
hear
do.
that, if you think of that.
No, I do. We was high as hell. I was high as hell and everything. Yeah, it was crazy.
Oh, that was a good time. We had
I
a lot
know-
of good times,
Salute
man.
Reb because, yo, I had Reb, like, I knew Reb fingers, man. Used to be tired, like, chopping and looping, bro. I used to have Reb one more time.
Yeah,
one
I'm
more
sure.
time, like, an hour, like 2 hours.
Honestly, though, when I worked with you, John, we had to do it so much tighter than I was doing it. That's what made me that much more it made me that much
Dope.
better.
yeah.
Dope, fact.
You know what it
I
really
remember
did,
him
like,
sitting
No,
there.
that's a good way to look at it, too,
I remember
bro.
him sitting at that desk for hours, cause
There was one
Yeah,
song, John,
man,
we were
I
doing for somebody. You probably remember this. We recorded it, went out to the car, listened to it, we're like, shit, it don't sound right. Played with it again, back to the car, shit, it don't sound right. We might have did that for 2 or 3 hours.
Which
And
song?
Half the
The
time we were
car
probably
is
just
the
so
test.
fucking high. It was
the
probably
car,
like the first
car
time.
is the ultimate test when you
It's
listen
def-
to it in the whip.
It definitely
yeah,
is.
right.
Because all the
Yeah.
levels, it's like all the levels is compressed and kind of, you know what I'm saying? So you're getting that real feel of it, yeah.
To get in your navigator.
Remember we was at the
Yeah, the
warehouse joint. We was freezing cold, man. We was thugging it out though.
Yeah, we had a good times in there.
Yeah.
You remember when you were recording? I think it was the corporation. I walked in and kicked the plug out of the wall by accident.
For real?
Oh my God, Bob.
Yeah, Jern, you were in the middle of spitting, and he kicked it. He shut the power to the whole computer and booth down.
The only reason you weren't mad is because I walked in with 3 honeys.
He was
Why?
so
She had
mad.
some- she had some candy. And you know what's crazy? I remember we was going to
Yeah.
we was going to I forgot which strip club it was, right? And you know, Phil Easy threw me a oop. Cause Phil was like, yo, one of the dancers was there. And we was in the parking lot just parking. And Phil was like, you don't know who this is? And she was like, nah. So Phil was like, and Phil just started bigging me up. And he was like, we coming in. But that joint, I was messing with her for a little while after that. I was like, man, Phil threw me the oop. But speaking of, right?
Yeah.
Real
Yeah, it
funny
was-
stories. One time me and Rick, we was down, I forgot where it was though, right? We was celebrating something. It was me and Rick. And I think we might have been celebrating the release of one of the mixtapes. And Rick was like, yo, man, I'm gonna get you he's like, you smoke cigars, sure? Now, mind you, I like the smell of cigars, but I never smoked a cigar before then. You know what I mean? I was on backwoods heavy. And you remember, Rev, because I don't even think nobody smoked backwoods. Not too many people smoked them. They used to hate backwoods.
No,
Long
it was
story
me.
sh- You didn't like the backwoods, Rev. It was a little too strong, man. So I think,
Yeah.
right. So I was like, damn, I said, I can handle these. I smoke backwoods all day. Long story short, man, I think he got a Coliba or something.
Still.
You want see? You know what I'm saying? So now everybody on him now. Now everybody be saying what I was trying to tell them back then, like this is the best. Once you smoke this, you ain't gonna want to smoke nothing else.
I've been telling people I've been doing this for 26 years.
Right. So it's like, but long story short, man, I smoked the cigar. I smoked the whole cigar and I smoked it wrong, bro. That whole night, my joint was twisted. My stomach was in knots, man. So and that
You
was
were
the
sick
last
as
time I ever
shit.
smoked a cigar, bro. And he kept saying, don't
Sure, you
inhale.
didn't really smoke that much weed. You didn't smoke that much weed before you met me, right?
You definitely enhanced it, bro. You definitely enhanced it, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Cause
He has that way about him.
Rev
Yeah.
had it on deck, bro. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? So listen, you definitely enhanced it, bro. Cause after that, I would smoke from 7 in the morning to 7 at night, nonstop, man. To my lady at the time, she was like, listen, I can't
Yeah.
take it. That's why I took a pause, you know what I mean? But no, yeah, old Rev, bro. Listen. And it's crazy because that's when I would do the Dutchess because Rev would do the green Dutchess. If I'm mistaken, you had the green. So I was like, yeah, listen, I could do the Dutchess.
I remember.
I used to hate Dutchess though.
Yeah.
Turn your film, Poop.
For my
Oh,
phone?
man, we had some good fucking times, man.
Good times, bro.
Good times.
Remember the community show,
Now go
bro?
back Go back to the original, Pooh.
What you say, Jer?
The community show. Rev did a great job, man. Like
Yeah.
you talented on them scratches, bro.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
No, fact, bro.
So, Jern,
Yeah,
I was telling them before sorry, Mass. I was telling them right before you got on earlier. I don't even know if I ever told you, but I probably told you I had your old records and stuff before I even met you.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you were one of my favorite Philly artists for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to get General to do that song, that Philly song that you and him wound up doing. You know, I was trying to get him just to do that, just to put that idea together, just so I can meet Jern.
Oh, word,
That was one of the cooler things.
Yeah, General's another good dude. Yeah, good guy, man. Because remember the R. Kelly joint? Nobody else got that record, bro.
Yeah, that was a good thing. He was good, man. I think he's still right.
What's up with
DJ Rebel exclusive?
I've seen him on Facebook a little bit. I haven't talked to him in a long time.
Oh, okay.
I see. Yeah.
So I remember one of the first times pulling up to Reb's apartment and Jern was outside. He had the jacket on, the Motown jacket with with the watch. He's sitting out front waiting to go in and record. I'm like,
it's old school.
You still got the Motown jacket, cuz?
I don't remember. I probably did. I don't remember.
Yeah, Jern,
you know, I used to get. Hold 1 minute. You know, I used to get a lot of free merchandise and stuff. So I probably did.
So tell us about Hard Route. As far as I can tell, Fast Nowhere and a Few Blocks from Christian Street never came out, right? Did you record records for these and you chose not to put them out, or they ended up on different projects? What happened to the 2 albums that you wanted to push through your own label?
Damn, that's crazy, because Few Blocks from Christian Street probably was in the makings for that long. But the stuff with Hard Route, I had put Hard Route on a hold because I had took a hiatus for a while. But the Few Blocks from Christian Street, we're actually working on that now. Me and my brother Yant, who's doing a lot of stuff. He just got Grammy nominated for few records last year. They're working on some stuff now. He just did some stuff with Jill. They just did Music's album. All that stuff is crazy. So we working on that like right now. With that, as far I just wanted to make that like, that's like my baby. So I wanted to take my time with that. Like, you know what I mean? Those albums, the idea that I had for them with that. So I didn't want to rush them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like right now, even working on it, it's coming out so good. So it's like, I wanted to that's like my Sistine Chapel. You know what I mean? That's like my masterpiece.
Yeah.
I want to take my time with it.
You gotta let it, you're chefing up in the kitchen. You gotta, that's a slow crock pot, John. That's not a microwave dinner.
Not fact, bro. Fact. And not to take nothing from, the mixtapes or none of that type stuff, but, always want to make sure my, like albums are on point. Yeah.
So you know what? Real fast. One thing I always wanted to know is, how did you end up doing the John for Sneaker Villa?
Damn, good question. Yeah, you remember that? Yeah, the Sneaker Villa joint. That was might have been.
Yeah.
That might have been.
That was all about Rasul Butler, and who else was in? Who else?
Right, that might have been a hookup with
Rasul Butler,
Soul.
Aaron Owen.
Right, that either that was through Soul or Set Free. Could have been Set Free too. No, Set Free was.
You're
okay.
Your flow was so melodic in that.
Huh?
Well, you had the one too with the M1 freestyle where you were talking about Soul and AO. Bouncing off his head like an M1 mixtape.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's the same John. That's the Sneaker Villa ad.
Yeah.
Right. That might have been. That was either Set Free or Soul. That was either Set Free or Soul that plugged that, or it could have been AO. Either one of them. But I remember exactly what y'all talking about. I don't remember the rhyme.
Soul,
but I remember. Yeah.
Soul Butler. You talked about him, and it might have been Soul. So you're still working on from a Few Blocks from Christian Street now? It's not something that you gave up on?
No, not at all. We working on that. I actually was in the studio yesterday and finishing up part of the intro for it. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's coming out good.
So I can't wait to hear that. So is that going to go out through Hard Route or a different label? Nice.
Well, we putting that through
so you
50. My fault, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, we're going to put that through 50 plus. So right now we're doing a joint, a movement, me, my man, She the Jeweler, my man Yacht. There's a few other cats. Ab Lava is doing some stuff with it. We got Miss J doing some stuff. But right now is the core cast is pushing it is me, Sheet, and Yacht. and we're doing a movement called 50 Plus, and that's shout out to Ring Music, and you know what I mean. We're doing that right now and pushing that through with the assistance of Ring, and we just gonna push that under that. And 50 Plus, I'll be 50 in a couple months. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not 50 yet, so I'm like an honorable.
I thought 50 Plus or Nothing was the name of the album that you and Sheed were doing.
Now, currently, Jaron, like if you're working on a song or when you're in the studio, will you put the beat on and will you just put the song together in your head? Will you just put the beat on and kind of put your verse together in your head?
Not now, no, bro. But so I just started since last year when I started getting back into rhyming. Up until last year, I would do that poop, but last year was my first year of writing raps again. You know what I'm saying? So It was kind of, it felt a little weird doing it, to be honest with you, because even up until I did Postseason was all like just freestyle. Not freestyle, but going in and no pen, just recording with no pen, listening to the beat, how you said, you know what I mean? And just coming up with the bars, which is it's a dope strategy. You know what I'm saying? I love it, but I wanted to get back to writing. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody now doing it that way. I just like going left when everybody going right. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
I like the way the writing is coming out.
I was going to ask you, so like, I always wanted to know, what was it like doing the Troy remix with Mr.
Which one
Cheeks?
was that, man? Man, that was,
listen, bro. They reminisce over you, the remix with Mr. Cheeks.
Yeah, the experience was dope, bro. P-Rock CL Smooth is one of my top groups of all time. You know what I mean? So when I actually found out that I was going to be in the studio same time with him, that was exciting, you know what I'm saying? So Pete Rock, real thorough brother. That was a good experience, bro. Mr. Cheeks, we did like a promo tour together. So I was rocking with Cheeks a few times before then. And Cheeks wasn't in the studio that day. Cheeks put his verse on later, right? But it's crazy because one time I went in the studio with Cheeks, and it's the first, I never saw, you remember how, I don't know if you ever saw Belly, how the weed table was on Belly, and they had that much weed when I went in the studio. With Cheeks, they had a fruit, but besides you, Rap, Mr. Cheeks probably had the most tree on deck, bro, that I ever saw. But it's crazy because I wasn't even smoking back then. I wasn't smoking at all. So he's like, yo, you smoke, Trap? I'm like, no. And he was like, he looked at me like I had 3 heads. But I'm like, at the end of the day, I was like, I wasn't even, I was an athlete, so I didn't drink or smoke at that time. And that's when, that came a little later.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you too, Jern. Like, me and Mass, we started writing and recording after. Honestly, for me, seeing you record live with Reb, that really even just pushed me, even to just make my own music. And we do it for us, right? Me and Massey, absolutely, over the years. And then we actually picked it up like 5 years ago. He started working from home again, and we've probably done another, Mass, 200 songs?
Yeah.
And
we started like 5 years ago recently, yeah.
And really, though, like, seeing you in the studio then was like that was what, honestly, listen, my dad grew up listening to hip hop. I grew up listening to hip hop since I was in second grade growing up in Southwest. But to actually start wanting to record and, we listen to old shit compared to what we've done now. Even just what I've done and music wise, just for us to listen to, I attribute that to seeing you in the studio. You know what I mean?
Man, I appreciate that.
It was a great way to start,
man.
dog. It was life changing for us.
Yeah. Same here, man. Listen,
we always say
go ahead, my fault, bro.
No, I was gonna say, like me and Massey always say, there's nothing like knocking your own shit in the whip. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the best feeling. And see, that's the love of it. You know what I'm saying? That's the love. And when I say love, that's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Like, whether it was for a check or whatever, would we still listen to this? Would we still do it? That's for the love. You know what I mean? Like, and it's crazy because me and G-Rap, we still talk through text all the time, and we say the same stuff. Like, we reminisce on the moments that we talking about now. We talk about, remember this, and they all surround hip hop, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's just a great thing, right, bro.
Music's just like one big memory. You hear it and it brings you back to those moments.
No, fact. It's spiritual. You know what I'm saying? It's spiritual, bro.
Yeah, when you're an artist and when you can do that to people, and like, you got these guys. Everybody's listening to your stuff still. It's like,
man, listen, that's priceless. You understand that? That's priceless, bro. I did. I know y'all know Vinny Paz, right? Yeah, you know Jedi Mind Tricks.
What did you say, Jern? You broke up a little bit.
Oh, my fault, bro.
Vinny Paz?
Vinny. Yeah, I did something with Vinny.
Yeah.
Beginning of this year. That's crazy. I did a verse for something that I think he laid his verse too. And it was, that joint was crazy. You know what I mean? That's the joint I said. I remember how I started. I think I said, I ain't gonna get a whole verse because I know, you know what I mean? He probably wasn't exclusive, but I said, as far as income, I need various streams. If I could be frank with you like vegetarian beans. I said, I said, if I could be frank with you like vegetarian beans, gotta play the hand you dealt. Oh man, listen, I gotta play the hand you dealt something.
Hey, that was good. We got the first two.
Well, and I was just talking to Massey. I was just talking to Massey this morning, right? And I always said the way that you put together your bars, right? So on the one song, you said you were talking about a girl, right? And you said that's when I grant her a hug, hop into the brown 6'4", the interior is banana and fudge. And I'm like, no one else would say like he's granting her a hug. You know what I mean? He's like, that's when I grant her a hug. It's just one of them lines that is so simple, but that it's just not something you would normally hear. You know, I think that's what makes you so original in your flow.
I appreciate that, but you get it. You get it as far as wordplay. That's all. People don't like to experiment with wordplay, right? You know, it's wordplay. Like, and to be honest, like people used to ask me, "What you think about?" And I'm gonna tell you exactly what it be, bro. Like, see how we talking now? Like, if y'all said something, a word that I never heard before, I would ask you, like, "Yo, what do that mean?" And if you tell me, I'm gonna put it in my, my mental Rolodex. So it's like all it is how you choose to play with the words, right? That's all. Right. That's what makes at least the stuff we enjoy. You know what I'm saying? So you know.
Yeah, and like 100%. So from that point, right? So you rhymed grant her a hug, banana and fudge, and then said the car door is like a hardware store because all you see is hammers and gloves. You know, so it's like just them three bars. Like you're rhyming.
So much going on in 3 bars,
and even just grant her a hug, banana and fudge, and hammer and gloves. You know, and it's like even just the way the punchlines, crazy.
I appreciate it, man.
So good,
and I'm glad that y'all get it because if you're not getting paid for, a particular thing, the only thing that come close to getting paid is that what y'all doing now. The breakdown of the bars, the appreciation of the bars, the flow, you know what I mean? And actually, that's probably priceless anyway. That's probably more than
that's what the pod is all about, dog. We want to give Philly their flowers. You know what I'm saying? That's what the pod is all about. Philly hip hop, cats we admire. And so I wanted to wrap up with, like, I understand the concept of when everybody was writing back in the day, you challenge yourself to not write. And now everybody you talk to says they don't write, like they're on that Jay-Z tip. And so now you go back to writing again. But what motivated you to start rapping, period, after such a long hiatus? Like, why now? Why are you picking up with Christian Street and working with Sheed now in 2026? Like, what is it about now that made you decide to come back?
So, good question. I took the break because I had to get right spiritual, you know what I'm saying? I became a father, you know what I mean? Which was the greatest experience and greatest achievement of my life, you know what I'm saying? That's the biggest blessing thus far. So I had to focus a lot on that. And my mentor, who's a pastor, he came to me and he said, "Listen, man, won't you start your music again?" But I was getting like signs of it anyway, and I was missing me doing it. So when he said that, that was like confirmation for me to even start, because now I was started looking at it. And that's why I said that's a good question, because how I'm looking at it now was the voice that I have, the gift that I have. Of course, I would just love to have fun with the music, right? In the bars, and we reminisce and we talking about Formula 16 and all of that. But the gift that I have now to even help the youth, because to help the youth and where the game was going. And I never would knock anybody's dream or vision of doing this, what I always had a dream and vision to do. But Doc said something to me a long time ago. He said, "Jerry, you should do it for the cause and not be cause." And I never knew what he was talking about. But then as I got older, I understood what he's saying. With the gift that you have to do it for a cause and not be cause. You know what I'm saying? Because we all have purpose for something. If we're not pushing forward for humanity, especially for youth, me being a father now, If we're not pushing for humanity to better humanity, then we're fighting against it. There's no in between, you know what I'm saying? So any purpose we have, we don't even, you know what I mean? Everybody don't rap. Everybody don't, you know, people say, well, I don't have a talent. The blind man said the person with eyes have a gift, right? So everybody has a gift to do something. You don't have to get out here and try to be the Dalai Lama or whatever, you know what I mean? But if you're not pushing and using our purposes to better humanity or better us as people, then we have a gift wasted. And that's what I'm looking at. So that, to answer your question, that's part of the reason I came back to do the music. Few blocks from Christian Street is going to be, it's going to be a lot of that. It's going to be entertaining. Go ahead,
You said do it for a cause, not because.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, right. That was heavy, right? And it was heavy because at the time, you know, and this is just to even sit down with Doc, is the GOAT, and to have, we could be, if we talk about basketball, is a legendary conversation, but for him to drop a jewel on me like that, that stuck with me, and I still run with that to this day. Now that I understand what he was saying, you know what I mean?
That phrase is like everything I preach to my kids, man.
Fact, right?
That's how I live my life.
Exactly, bro.
I never. It's awesome to hear that stuff in a different way. Something you know.
No, fact, because now
that's a dope one-liner that changes your life.
Right.
No, exactly. And it's one of them jewels, right?
And it's something I already do, but just to hear it like that is a whole different like do for a call. I mean, it relates to a relationship I just had with my son, and right before this started at dinner. Mm-hmm. No shit, you know.
So it makes sense,
I think
right?
One of the things I always appreciated
that was awesome what you just said, man.
Salute, yes.
One of the things I always appreciated too, Jern, is like is just the flow it's so original, it's so you. You know what I mean? It don't when you rap, it doesn't it's literally just sounds. It doesn't sound like anybody else. You know what I mean?
I appreciate it.
It's all your experiences and the punchlines and the the way that you put the wordplay is 100% authentic. You know what I mean? I always just took that and appreciate it. I mean, listen, I've sent your album to people in Vegas, people I grew up with, lived in Colorado.
Man, I appreciate that, bro.
Anybody, you know, like whenever we talk about Philly rappers,
everybody loves them.
You know, you're the first person that I always bring up and send that album to, because, like I said, I just think it's a masterpiece what you did with that.
I appreciate that, Poop. And guess what's crazy, fellas? Like that there, I really appreciate that, man. I mean a lot, because that keeps me afloat to take a hiatus and be able to come back, right? Because what I noticed now, you know, years ago when I was recording, one thing I tell people now, when I was recording years ago, I would try to chase. I wanted every sell. I wanted to go platinum. Now, what I learned now is you target your core listeners and you feed them. You know what I'm saying? You feed them, and that's how you build from there. Instead of me trying to chase the hot record that I can grip everybody. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny to add on what you were saying about the writing, though, right, Poopsie? With me, I admit, 93 was when I started writing raps, and I would mimic Nas' flow to the fullest, right? And then I would hear Biggie and Jay and all of these guys, but it was Lord Finesse, McGruff, Big L, all of these guys. They're the you know, their setups and their punchlines. Common. Believe it or not, Common first album. There's so many entendres in that album, bro. It's crazy, man. When you listen, there's so many like hidden metaphors and stuff. Grand Poobah. So these guys I would listen to, and I kind of like, I got my smoothness from CLs, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I took a little bit of everybody and made my own thing eventually, you know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. And that's how I came with my sound. So for you to say that now, I appreciate that, because that's always wanted to work towards, to find my own sound. The greats that came before me, I took from a little bit of them, you know what I mean? Like everybody do it. You know
I love that. So. And listen, Big L still pops up on my YouTube music. Some of his stuff is unbelievable. You know, he really talked that talk. You know?
I'm from the HE double hockey sticks. What he said, I used to remember all these stuff, man. Like, you know, I feel y'all remember them bars.
Did you hear the joint? Nas just put out a new Big L record.
Oh, through Mass Appeal, right? Was it through
Mass? Nas, he put out a whole new Big L album. You got to check that out, cause
I got to check that out.
On that shit.
Yeah, definitely, bro. Cause listen,
the joint that Nas is on, that record is super dope. That's unheard Big L. It's really good.
That's one thing with Massey. Massey's still listening to every album. I'm stuck in my old way. I like the old, I'm stuck in the stuff that I like and stuff that I like. He's still, anything new that comes out, he's running through these newer albums,
When I was on the phone with Dutch and I said, yeah, I got my ear to the street, dog. When I was on the phone with Dutch and I said, we're trying to get you on, we're trying to get Jern on, he's like, I'm going to be in the studio with Jern tonight. They're recording the last record with Sheed. Yep. I said, I've been waiting for the 50 plus or nothing to come out. And he was like shocked that like I knew what he was talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. See, they don't know. Listen. And it's crazy. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
I was going to say I had a discussion with Dutch after that whole night was dope because he's like, yo, man, as soon as we come to the studio, he's like, yo, man, I got a podcast, somebody reaching out for y'all to do. I'm like, and as soon as he said Massey, I'm like, hold up, Massey, it's only one Massey I really know. And I'm like, he can't be talking about that.
It's only one Massey.
Then he kept talking. And I'm like, yo, I think I know it. I said, let me see the picture. I said, this is Massey. You know what I mean? You and Rev got the Jadakiss thing going on, you know what I'm saying? But I said, this is y'all though, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to tell you, Dutch is another one. Dutch is another one who, it's my guy, you know what I mean? And Dutch said, yo, you got me on that, the joint with, what's my man name? Doo-Wop. Me, Dutch, Spade, all of us did a joint on Doo-Wop. And he was like,
I was just listening to that.
Dutch and Sheed got. It's crazy.
Boy, I can't wait to hear that. And journalist for Doo-Wop, the true Montronian. That's how you ended that record. I was just listening to that the other day.
Yeah. No, that's all good love. See, the good thing is, you listen to everything, and that's how you stay afloat. I'm like a little bit between you, Massey, and Poop because I don't listen to everything, but the people that see how you said you told me about the Big L joint. I don't know how I missed that. I'm definitely checking that out. I checked out the Ghost joint, Ray joint.
Bullshit.
Salute to Ray, but I wasn't. I got to go back in on Ray joint. You know what I mean? Mobb Deep joint was crazy. You know what I'm saying? AZ joint fire. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely, I keep up with those, you know what I'm saying? I don't listen to every
Do or Die
joint,
3 was good. Slick Rick's album wasn't bad either. Mass Appeal did 7 of them this year.
De La joint was nice too. Yeah.
De La was dope. Yeah.
I mean, honestly too, I think what Nas has done in the last like 5 years with all the King's Disease stuff is impressive. You know what I mean? To kind of come back out and do them albums. Nas is really,
he's the GOAT, man.
He put out 6 albums, 6 or 7. He put out 7 albums since COVID-19.
Crazy, right?
And he's over 52.
Yeah.
That's nuts, man.
And it's like, so even now, like I was talking to somebody the other day, guys like, shout out to RJ Payne. I was talking to RJ Payne not too long ago, right? Rain Man, I still call him Rain Man, but he made a good point.
Rain Man, yeah, Black Rain. He started out as
but with him and Griselda, you know what I'm saying, was kind of keeping the boom bap hip hop that we listen to kind of afloat, right? So it's like now that floodgate is open a lot more. So even listening to guys like that was kind of keeping me motivated to want to come back. You know what I mean? Because hip hop is the only.
Yeah, I think the RJ Payne stuff, the stuff Ness has done, the freestyles Ness has done in the past.
Right. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
They're coming back, and the stuff that they're coming with is, the bars are dope.
Right.
No, but he's right. If you don't listen to an RJ Payne verse and get motivated to write, something's wrong with you.
Right. RJ Easy, and that's like Lord, bro. It's like. I remember when RJ first signed with, cause he was signing with, Henchman and them at that time. I think he was doing some Def Jam stuff, and then he started signing with Henchman. We was up New York around the same times. I used to go to Henchman and studio to bust it up with Rain sometimes, just to go listen to music and blow, you know what I'm saying? And that's how it should be, you know what I mean? And that motivate me to go do my stuff sometimes. So yeah, the game is the game. We got a lot of stuff coming, man. And now we in tune. I'm gonna be definitely feeding y'all some exclusives, bro. I'm gonna be definitely feeding y'all some exclusives.
Dog. Between Few Blocks from Christian Street and the Jewelers album, we can't wait to hear what you got coming out next.
Yeah,
we appreciate you making some time for us too, cuz.
What's that, man?
I said we appreciate you making time for us too. We appreciate you coming down and chopping it up with us.
Yeah, y'all family, man. For sure, bro. I'm glad Dutch linked us back. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, we got history, bro. So it's like, for sure, man. Like I said, we got to swing.
I'm gonna get your number from Matt. I'm gonna reach you out, man.
What's that? Yeah, for sure, Red.
I'm gonna reach you out for you. I'm gonna reach you out. Yeah, we'll catch up.
Yeah, for sure,
Hey,
bro.
Jaron, I'm in an over 35 basketball league too. If you're trying to get back into playing ball again too.
I won't even get in y'all way, man, and embarrass myself, bro. If I did play, it'll be for the cardio, bro. Where you hooping at, Poop? Where y'all playing at?
Yeah, in Springfield. Yeah, YMCA, Springfield Y.
Man, listen,
I'm still out there.
I'm about to say, man, looking at y'all play probably gonna be funny though, man. You got the old. Y'all ain't that bad. Listen, the last time I played, I dislocated my finger. That was about 20 years ago, bro.
Ooh.
I never played like a whole court game. Now I might get the ball and shoot some J's, but I never played whole court after that, bro. Yeah,
I appreciate you coming out, Jaron.
I appreciate y'all, no doubt, bro. So make sure y'all get my numbers, man. We keep in touch and we do it again. Matter of fact, let's set one up before the release. We'll set up another,
before
for the release.
Either one of the albums drops, we'll have you back on. Absolutely.
Yeah. I'll get the recordings. I'll get the recordings to y'all. Y'all can check it out, and we'll do one about the recordings before the release. Yep.
Awesome. Sounds great, cuz we appreciate it.
Yeah, let us take a listen to it before, and then we'll do another one.
Right. Yep, for sure. Listen, y'all connoisseurs, man. It'll be a great joint for y'all to get y'all opinion on it. You know what I mean? And man, listen, y'all welcome to come to the studio if y'all want. You know what I mean? Y'all fam. So one day y'all come through the session. Yeah, you could definitely do that. Once it's done, either I'll send it to y'all or y'all could just come up and we'll have it like a private listening session, bro.
That's fantastic, dog.
I'm in 100%. Either one, both.
We'll definitely be there.
Okay. Well, that's love.
All right, dog. I'll keep in touch with you over text.
For sure, bro. Much love, man. Appreciate y'all. Salute.
All right, Jaron.
All right,
good night, dog.
See you, buddy.
You too. Thanks,
Later,
bro.
baby.
All right, Jaron.
It's already ready, but you knew that. Mr. Boom Bap, like shares, page views by the thousands. Joseph E. Bags, he's bringing back nostalgia.